Jana Duggar shares disheartening moments before marrying counting on alum, and Jana Duggar expresses her past struggles in a new interview. The 34-year-old has been celebrating her wedding with Stephen Wisman. The two tied the knot on August 15 in Prairie Grove, Arkansas. Jana and Stephen had 500 guests, many of whom were family members. But despite all the celebrations, Jana can't help but recall one of the hardest and disheartening parts of her life. Keep reading to see her shocking statements. Counting on, Jana Duggar shares struggles with Stephen Wisman. According to Jana, it hasn't been an easy journey for her and Stephen. She revealed that they'd only reconnected earlier this year after suffering from so many ups and downs. The Counting on alum said that they separated during the time Stephen's sister Hannah married Jeremiah Duggar. However, they remained in touch, and Jana appreciated all his efforts to prove his love. Jana and Stephen were rumored to be in a relationship in 2020. Photos of them have surfaced online. The oldest Duggar daughter even spent Christmas Eve with the Wisman family, fueling the speculations even further. Things suddenly went silent between them when Josh Duggar was arrested for CSAM in 2021. Jana shares disheartening moments before marrying. Jana recently opened up about how disheartening it was for her to stay as the oldest single Duggar for many years. According to the Counting on alum, she initially saw it as a blessing, as she could do many things married people couldn't do at her age. She tried to look for the positive, but she couldn't hide the fact that she may not be able to spend the rest of her life with anyone. Jana Duggar also admitted that she has dated around before Stephen Wisman, but nothing ever came to fruition. It even came to a point where she began to suspect that she was the problem, adding that her journey has been disheartening at times. Counting on Jana Duggar and Stephen Wisman's long-distance relationship. During the same interview, Jana revealed that their strong faith played a significant role in their relationship. According to the former Counting on star, they're so happy to be able to spend time together after being in a long-distance relationship for quite some time. Being able to just have someone that you do everyday life. It's a sweet time that I've hoped for and wanted for a while, she added. It's known that Stephen Wisman lives in Nebraska. He's also a pilot who moves around countries from time to time. Jana Duggar has always stood out in the Duggar family. The eldest daughter of Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar, she has played a significant role in helping raise her younger siblings, building a reputation for grace and calmness amidst the whirlwind of her family's fame. While many of her siblings have gone on to marry young and start families of their own, Jana has remained unmarried, a fact that has stirred much speculation from fans and tabloids alike. But recently, Jana has begun to open up more about her personal life, and in a rare moment of vulnerability, she shared the emotional and disheartening moments she experienced before deciding to marry. For years, Jana has been seen as the steadfast single sister in a family where marriage is not only encouraged, but expected at an early age. Her siblings, like Jessa, Jill, and Jinger, were all married by their early 20s and quickly had children. Jana, now in her 30s, has long faced questions about her singleness, with fans wondering why she remained unattached while the rest of her family seemed to follow the traditional courtship and marriage trajectory. Rumors swirled for years about potential suitors and whether or not Jana had courted in secret. From whispers of possible relationships with men both within and outside of the Duggar family's close circle, the pressure mounted for her to find the one. But behind the scenes, Jana was wrestling with more than just the expectations of others. She was confronting her own deep fears, insecurities, and heartache. In a heartfelt blog post, Jana revealed that her journey to marriage was not as simple as it might have appeared from the outside. There were so many moments when I wondered if I would ever meet someone who truly understood me, she wrote. In a family where marriage is seen as the natural next step, I often felt like I was missing out on something important, like I wasn't measuring up to the expectations placed on me. Jana shared that it wasn't just external pressure from fans or her parents that weighed on her, but also the internal struggle of feeling disheartened by failed relationships. There were times when I thought I had found the person I was meant to be with, only to realize that it wasn't right, she confessed. It was heartbreaking over and over again to think you found love and then have it slip away. One of the most challenging aspects of this journey for Jana was dealing with the public's perception of her singleness. As a Duggar, she was constantly in the spotlight, and her personal life was often a topic of conversation for the media. The world was always watching, she said. And when you're in a family like mine, people make assumptions. They wonder why you're not married, if something's wrong with you, or if you're just waiting for the perfect guy to come along. But it's not that simple. Jana also explained how the culture she was raised in contributed to her complicated feelings about marriage. In the Duggar family, traditional gender roles and conservative Christian values are emphasized, which often put pressure on women to marry young and have children. I grew up with the idea that marriage is one of the most important things you can do in life, and for a long time I believed that if I wasn't married, I wasn't living up to that calling, she shared. It took a lot of soul-searching to realize that my worth doesn't come from whether or not I'm married, but from who I am as a person. Her path to self-acceptance was not an easy one. Jana revealed that there were moments when she felt like giving up on the idea of marriage altogether. There were times when I thought, maybe this just isn't for me. Maybe I'm meant to be single for the rest of my life, she admitted. It was disheartening to feel like something that came so easily for others might never happen for me. But despite the heartache and disappointment, Jana never lost hope. She described how her faith helped her through some of the darkest times, giving her the strength to trust that her life was unfolding exactly as it was meant to. I've always believed that God has a plan for me, even when it's hard to see what that plan is, she said. I've learned that it's okay to have doubts, to feel discouraged, and to question things. But in the end, I know that I am exactly where I'm supposed to be. Now, as she looks toward the future, Jana is more at peace with her journey. I don't know what's next for me, she wrote, but I do know that I'm no longer in a rush to find out. I've realized that love doesn't have to follow a timeline, and marriage isn't something that should be forced or rushed into just because it's expected. Jana's openness about her struggles has resonated with many of her fans, especially those who have also faced societal pressure to marry. In a world that often equates singleness with loneliness or incompleteness, her message is one of empowerment and self-worth. Being single doesn't mean you're alone or that you're missing out, she wrote. It's a season of life that can be full of growth, discovery, and joy. I've learned to embrace where I am rather than constantly wishing for something else. Though Jana has hinted that she is open to the idea of marriage, she is no longer consumed by it. If it's meant to happen, it will, she concluded. But in the meantime, I'm focused on living a life that brings me fulfillment, whether I'm married or single. My story isn't defined by a wedding ring. It's defined by the love and purpose I find in each day. In sharing her journey, Jana Duggar has reminded us all that the path to love, whether romantic or otherwise, is often unpredictable and challenging. But through it all, she has remained strong, authentic, and grounded in her faith, qualities that have made her an inspiration to many. And whether or not marriage is in her future, one thing is clear. Jana's story is one of resilience, hope, and unwavering self-belief. Unpredictable and challenging. But through it all, she has remained strong, authentic, and grounded in her faith, qualities that have made her an inspiration to many. And whether or not marriage is in her future, one thing is clear. Jana's story is one of resilience, hope, and unwavering self-belief.